Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lili and Friends podcast. Today I have a very good friend of mine. We met at an app called Peanut, which is like a mom's app, last year or so. And it was really nice because we met and we basically connected right away. She's from Costa Rica. She came here a couple years ago. She's going to talk about that a little bit. And it was really nice because it was the first mom that I've met on Peanut, and we became friends. And she speaks a little bit Portuguese, and I speak a little bit of Spanish, so we understand each other pretty much well. And but we're gonna talk in English, obviously, but just so you guys know, it's just the thing that connected us. So let's see what she has to say. How are you, Ileana? How's things?
I'm good. Thanks for inviting me over.
Of course. It's interesting because
Things have been a bit crazy. Fun that you just remind me that we met over that app.
it's true. It's true. And it was really funny because you were the first person that I've met on that app, and I was kind of scared because it was the first person. I didn't know what to expect, right? And then I encountered you, and you have two kids, so I was like, oh my goodness, how does she do that? So it was very interesting for me to
Yeah.
to get to know you, and we can talk a little bit about this. So when did you came to the US, and why?
I'm gonna talk about it, but first I have to say that using Peanut was the closest that we were gonna get to a dating app that you can swipe the same thing people do with other dating apps. So you kind of like someone, and if someone like you back based on whatever your criteria is, maybe your son's age, or where you're from, or what language do you speak. So yeah, it was fun. It was really fun, and I will never forget that I took you to the beach and you don't like the sand.
That's true. That's true. We met at the beach, and I hate sand on my feet and on my legs, and I was like, oh, this is a disaster. It turned out to be really good, actually. And then I remember also that those crazy birds just came and they tried to get your food away from you, and I was like, no, shoo, go away. And I hate birds. I don't like anything that
Yeah.
flies. I don't like sand. I was like, oh my god, this is the worst. This is my nightmare. But it turned out to be really, really good because we connected so well, you know.
It was fun. It was really fun. Yeah. Yeah. I remember. And you told me that you babysat twins and that you would never want twins ever, knowing how hard it is. I know.
Yes. So that's why I liked to meet you, and I liked talking to you and stuff, and we're going to talk about a bit in the podcast, but it's really nice to reconnect with someone and be so close to someone that has twins, because I do babysat twins a couple years ago. uh, they just turned 7 years old. So I took care of them when they were babies, when they were 4 months old, up until they were 2, because I babysat them at their house, and then they went to a school that I worked for, and then I was their teacher for another year. So, and I still
Hmm.
see them, not as often
Yeah.
because of COVID, but I still see them pretty much every year, and it's so nice because they know me, they recognize me, they enjoy being with me still. So it's really, really nice.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure. It was a really special time that they got to spend with you. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, going back to your question, we moved
Mhm.
to the States when the kiddos were 4 months old. We moved from Costa Rica to Minnesota. It was gonna be 1 year only for an assignment that my husband had at his company, and it has turned to 3 years, and we were in Minnesota for a year. Then we moved to St. Louis, Missouri for like 6 months. and we ended up here in California. It's gonna be almost 2 years this December since we landed here, and it's been a roller coaster for sure. You know, because the simple fact that they were babies when we brought them here, and just the whole moving abroad topic, and it's been nice.
Yeah. And again, you have twins, so it's hard because traveling with one baby, it's already hard. Now, two babies, it's a night.
I know. I know.
Oh my God. So yeah, that's a good thing. It's basically our story too, but we just came straight to California. So we moved from Portugal to Germany, and then 2 years after Germany, we decided to come to the US. Well, we didn't decide it. My husband got a job offer to come to California, and who can say no to California, right? Um, and it's been 8 years that we're here, actually. It's been 8 years, and it's been great.
You guys have been here for so long.
I know. I know.
Same as our friend Natalie that just moved back to Germany, and that I miss actually a lot because I used to see her a lot because we used to live close by.
That's true. It's so funny you mentioning about her because, I met her in Germany. We met in Germany on her goodbye party, and we always talk about this. And then she moved over here, and then a couple months after she moved, we moved, and so we kind of connected because she was the only person basically that I knew from Germany that was here, and our husbands worked for the same company, and because we couldn't work, I mean, she could work, I couldn't, but she didn't have a job for a certain period of time, and then we started hanging out, and we had a blog together, and blah blah blah. Long story short, we became friends, and then life took us apart because she started working, I started working, so it kind of, we went our way, and then life brought us back together because we had kids the same month, so they are 1 week apart, and it's nice to reconnect with a friend through our kids again. And now that she's back home in Germany, it's hard, but I understand why she did it, and I know that she's happy, and that's a good thing. But
yeah, that's for sure. And it was really fun seeing Leo and Evelyn together. It was like they are sister and brother,
yeah, they were very good friends,
almost twins.
Right, exactly. They were very, very good friends. Leon sometimes, still remembers her. We have a picture of her and Leon on his wall in his room, and he says goodnight to her and to Olivia, which is another baby, another kid of our group of friends. And he liked to have them around and stuff, and so it was really, really fun. But going back to you, so you came here because of an assignment, and then so the kids were born in Costa Rica, is that right?
Yeah, they were born there. In fact, I don't remember when they were born. We didn't have plans of coming to the US. It was like I think it was in the second month or so that his company started proposing us, the idea to move over here. And then we decided within a couple of weeks that we were gonna take the opportunity to travel for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons that was really heavy on me was that back in Costa Rica, I probably had to go back to work like within 5 to 6 months. But being here, I was going to be able to be with them like the full year. And so that was one of the main reasons that I said, okay, I know it's going to be hard because I won't have like anyone around, but the chance to be able to just, be with them fully for such a period was a really nice opportunity for me back then.
Yeah. How is the maternity leave in Costa Rica? Is that 6 months as well, like in Portugal?
I believe it's 3 months, and it's a month prior to give birth, and then 3 months after. And because of they were twins, I had another month.
Oh, I see. But I don't know how it is in Portugal right now, but I remember back when I was living there that I believe that moms would have 6 months of maternity leave and the dad would have a month or two. I can't confirm that. Now, I think now it kind of changed. I think now it's 4 months for the mom and a month for the dad. But I could be wrong. So if anybody who's listening know about this, please let me know. But yeah, and in Germany, when I was living there, you will have the full year fully paid to take care of your kids.
That's totally lovely. We spent a few months in a Slovakia, Slovak Republic, 10 years ago or so. I might be wrong as well, but they'll have like 2 to 3 years, I believe, and they can have up to 4 babies and do the same. Like,
yeah,
wow, that's like whoa,
exactly,
really something.
And what they did in Germany as well, I worked for a family that she had 3 kids, and she basically said that those 3 years they were all paid from her employee because, for employer, whatever, uh, from the company she was working for, because that's the government basically. That's what they that's in law. So the law says if you have a kid, you have 1 year fully paid, and then if you want to stay more, then it decreases. But again, I could be wrong. So please, if anybody is listening, and maybe Natalie will listen to this and we'll come back with what is what, then please let us know, because we've been out of the country for so long and I don't have the data. So okay, so let's talk about the fact that they're twins, because I'm puzzled with this. How did that happen?
What my answer will be. Like, I don't know any I don't know any different. I only have twins, so I can compare it to one child. But I went through an IVF. It was my second try. We went through a bit of a struggle to have kiddos, so it was my second try. And if you have been through an IVF, or someone who has, chances are like 30% for every egg you choose to put, you choose to implant is the word, I believe.
Yeah.
So if you implant only one egg, fertilized egg, you have 30% chance of getting pregnant. And if you're gonna go through such a treatment, which is a little bit invasive, I would say, and a little bit it's hard on your body and your mind, then you want to have like at least 60% chance, knowing that it could be, it could go both ways, like you can have twins. So we kind of decided for the 60% chance of having one. And that's how we ended up having twins. I knew before I even went to my ultrasound, just because you have to run blood tests to kind of measure the pregnancy hormone before you actually go to the doctor. And the numbers were so high that I said, oh yeah, I am definitely having more than one.
Wow. I did not know that. That's mind-blowing. Really?
Yeah. A lot of things of the FIB process are mind-blowing. Like, you really do not sit down and just wonder how, I won't use this word, how is it, like, being pregnant is a miracle by itself. Like there are so many things that need to happen for a woman to get pregnant, and we see it so normal that we don't really, take it for granted. But yeah, there's so many things that I could talk for like 10 hours straight.
No, but that's the thing. That's why I wanted you on the podcast, because I think your story is very fascinating about having the IVF and then going through the whole process. And it's, again, like you said, it's a mind thing and the body thing. So it both combined. It's like just chemicals happening, and then you get sad and you get happy and you get excited and you get mad, and it's just a whole thing, rather than having like a natural like pregnancy, like doing, being pregnant like naturally. Because you, like, for example, for me, I wasn't even counting on it, like I got off pill and I was like, hey, if it happens, it happens, and that's it. And then a couple months later, I wasn't feeling good, and I was like, maybe I should take a test. And I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with IVF, you know what you're gonna do, the date that you're gonna do the eggs, and the date that you're gonna get, you know what I mean? So it's a whole new level. So
it is a whole new level. It's definitely a whole new level, and it's you kind of stop taking things for granted, because you know how difficult it is. Even if you have like the best doctors in the world, the best treatment in the world, it is not up to you or up to them or up to the universe, or however you want to call it. If it's meant for you, it will happen, and that's it.
Yeah, because it's your body. Your body has to accept the eggs, and it's out of your control.
Exactly.
Even though you want it so badly, but it's out of your control, because the doctors and the technology and all of that can do so much, but your body has to do the rest, right? And then maybe you have, I don't know how that works. You have to do any precautions on like what you eat, what you drink, stuff like that, like the way you sleep.
Yeah, it will totally depend on each journey. It's very different, because everybody is unique and everyone has different challenges. But I'll say, like, for example, you cannot drink coffee meanwhile you're trying to build your eggs, because caffeine kind of makes you pee a lot, and then they're gonna be dehydrated. So you have to run out of coffee for this many months, and then there's a lot of resting in between, because you really need, like, the first, I'll say, 8 weeks or so. It's a fake pregnancy, or I wouldn't call it fake. I would say a not natural pregnancy. So you have to do all you can to keep it where it is, and it's very fragile. So there's a lot of resting involved. A lot of meds are involved, because they are trying to let your mind know that you're pregnant, and that you need to produce everything that the body normally produces, but naturally produces. So there's a lot of things involved, and that's why it's a bit complicated. Well, it's a bit exhausting, I'll say, because otherwise you will, be just like, if you have a healthy pregnancy, because I know that natural pregnancy can be a heck too, but if you have a healthy pregnancy, otherwise you will be just like, having a normal life. And then, yeah, those are pretty much like every pregnancy is different, and every journey is different, but like there are common things, and those are going to be the ones that I can think of right now.
Yeah. So even on a normal pregnancy, you know, the first couple of months you are exhausted and you just want to sleep and you don't want to, you're not in a good mood, you know, most of the people are like that because like you said, your body has to produce all those chemicals. It needs to understand what's going on basically because it's a new thing. And that's why first pregnancies usually are harder than the second ones, and same thing goes to labor. For me, I can tell you that I was very, very lucky. I was blessed with everything, although I had a couple of times that I almost fainted or a couple of times that I threw up, but you know, that's part of the business. But the thing is, overall, I had a really good and healthy pregnancy and also a good labor. I can't complain. But
No, yeah, that's really awesome.
yeah.
To be pretty fair with everything, like once the babies were secure, we'll say, like after week, for one baby it's 12 weeks, I believe. For twin babies are like 14 or 15 weeks once they are considered safe or with less chance to
Abort and
have
stuff.
a miscarriage.
Yeah.
The pregnancy where my pregnancy was pretty normal. I think I used to swim and I practiced swimming until it was like I delivered in week 34, and I think I was still swimming by then. And
Wow, that's
it was pretty
impressive.
normal. Yeah, it was really pretty normal for what it is. So yeah, I can't complain. And they were born at week 34. They had to rush the delivery because Ignacio was, I don't even remember right now what was really happening, but probably was just like the heartbeat was a little bit not what they wanted or something like that. And once they were out, they were completely fine. So no complaints at all there as well.
Okay, that's good. Were they born at 34 weeks, you said?
34 weeks, yeah.
Oh,
They really didn't have to be in the NICU for a day.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah. We ended up staying another day because I wanted to sleep, but because of anything else.
You're like, just let me be. I just want to sleep right
I'll be
now.
like, oh my God, I want, yeah, I won't sleep for the rest, in the next 7 years. Please let me sleep again.
No, it's exhausting for sure. But I mean, oh my God, it's so funny. Um, but oh man, I have a weird question. How is the how is the milk production when you have twins? Do you still have like a lot of milk or
No, listen, that's on everyone's. That's different for everyone.
yeah.
I can see people like maybe not a close friend because I don't have like many close friends with twins, but I've seen people uh handling perfectly. I honestly, I maybe tried for like 2 weeks really really hard because I really didn't produce enough, not even for one. And the second or the third week that I couldn't sleep more than, I don't know, 3 hours per day, and I was really stressed out just because I had twins. I said, like, listen, this is a war that I'm not planning to win. Even if it's, like I know it's the best for them, I'm not gonna fight it anymore. So I went with formula, and yeah, I gave up soon enough because I really wasn't, and I think it was pretty much related to the stress level I had by then, because lack of sleep, twins, you name it, first kids, whatever. So yeah, I don't know what's the formula. I'm still trying to find out.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, my kid is crying. Anyways, daddy can take care of him. No, it's just it could be it because with stress and stuff, the milk production really slows down. And so yeah, you did the right move. But okay, going back to it. So you were in Costa Rica anyways, right? Because you had the twins there, and then when they were 4 months old, you moved to the US. And
Yeah.
how was that, like, adapting your life to, first of all, a new country, new culture, new everything, and then having twins and not having the help?
um, it was a journey for sure. I I'll say that I really love being somewhere else and just kind of discover a new place and trying to make new friends. If winter allow you to.
Yeah.
That part I really really liked, and the whole adventure. Getting to a new home and trying to decorate or whatever. That was really fun. In Minnesota, it's beautiful. It is really beautiful. It's
I have to go there. I've never
it's
been. I have friends there.
cold. You can't believe how cold it gets. But it is really beautiful. It is pretty similar to the Canadian side. Obviously, it's up north,
Mm-hmm.
so people are really friendly and educated, and it's an art city. Like it's pretty much focused on arts and like the elderly people. They're really active. You see 70-year old a couple walking by the park all every afternoon. I like that. Really, Minnesota is really really cool. It was pretty lonely though, especially during winter months. But luckily for me, my mom, um, she moved with us couple of months after we landed there. So she came to help us for around 6 months.
Oh,
So
that's good.
she saved our lives for a while there.
I bet.
And no, yeah, she did.
Yeah,
She did.
because like you had that, I mean, you had twins, so that's a big challenge. But for me, like, I had no help whatsoever. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't do it any other way because I think I learned so much being a stay-at-home mom by myself. I mean, obviously my husband helped here and there, obviously, but you know, you spent a month with us and then you had to go back to work. And just being on my own with my child 24/7, it was a bit of a challenge, but I think I wouldn't have it on any other way because it made me such, I was always very organized person, but it made me not be as organized or not on time all the time because, you know, as soon as we're about to leave the house or something and there was a diaper to change, or oh my god, I forgot the shoe, you know what I mean? So it's just like you have to kind of, work with the puzzle like perfectly to actually do so. And this is actually of course it's before COVID, so we could actually go out and enjoy time outside, go to Disneyland, go to Pretend City, go other places like that. But certain things that you'd be like asking a person, oh, you want to meet at the park? Okay, let's do at 3. And then at like 2:30 you're like, oh my god, it might be 3:30 because he's
Kids is
still
still
sleeping.
napping.
Exactly, they're still napping. And
Yeah.
and then you get that at 4 and you're like, oh, I gotta go in 5 minutes, bye. But that's the thing of having a kid, like it's just you kind of adapt your life to
You
your
have to
new
go
life.
with the flow or you won't make it.
Exactly. And I think because I was alone, quote unquote, um, it made me be a little bit more on myself and be like, okay, you need to focus on what you're doing right now and forget about the rest. Because if I had someone here, let's say my mom, it would stress me out a lot more, I'm sure. You know, even though me and my mom were close and I can talk to her and we were very close, but I think that it will stress me even more because I will probably think about, oh, what should I do for dinner and for lunch, and where should we go and what should we do? And that's I didn't need that.
Yeah, it's always easier. It's always easier to do, to kind of, how can I say it? It's easier to plan or go with the flow if you don't have to convince someone else about it. So even if it's your mom, I mean, it's a huge generation gap between you two. That happened with my mom as well. It's she helped us a lot, but there was sometimes that it was a struggle for both of us because she thought, in a way, and I thought in a different way, and we were both trying to raise these kiddos as well. So yeah, you're totally right. It might be easier in some way,
Yeah, because it's good to have them, because then they can, when you're dealing with a baby, they can probably, start cooking or clean something. But then that's the thing, like you said, it's a big, like a huge age gap between my mom when she was a mom from the beginning until now, that things that they have done in the past, let's say the kid can't poop for some reason, then my mom will be like, oh, do this and that, and I'll be like, that's ridiculous. Nowadays you have, like a thing to put in their butt and that's it. You know what I mean? So I gave the wrong example, but you know what I mean? Like, there's
I know. Like every time you go back home, I know you have a lot of examples about it.
Yes, exactly. So it's like, the things that they have done like 30 years ago, we don't do that no more. And so it's kind of weird. Like, my mom tried, I'm so mean. I'm sorry, Mom. But like, when my son was, when Leon was trying to eat solid food, I gave him a little piece of, I don't know if it was bread or something, I don't know. But we were on the phone and my mom was like, oh my God, that's so big. He's going to choke. And I'm like, and I said, I was so mean. I said, Mom, stop. He's my son. I'll do what I want. And, is my son. If you want to kill him right now, I'll do it. Is my son. I'll do whatever I want. I know this sounds so mean. And my mom was like, okay, but she got the message. That's the point. She got the message. She never said anything ever again. And I feel bad because I know she meant well and she's worried about her grandchild, but that's the thing. Like, so that's the thing. I don't take those stuff well. Like,
yeah.
give me feedback about my job or something like that. Okay, I accept it and I think about it and I maybe change it or not. But with my child, I'm like, no, do not try to raise my child. I'm the mom. I know what I'm doing. And plus I have professional, I have a professional background on kids. So I know what I'm doing. But I know that she meant well. It's just that I don't take this very well. And
I got you. That's gonna come back at us. That is totally gonna come back at us when we're gonna be grandmas. We're gonna have to shut our mouth.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I think it's so. My husband's sister, my sister-in-law, she had a baby, and she's 9 months now, almost 10 months. And well, actually tomorrow she'll be 10 months on the 25th. And she's our niece and also now our goddaughter. So she, it's her first child and she's still young and stuff. So we kind of helper sometimes, but I always say, you know, hey, take it or leave it. I'm just going to give you this advice and you don't have to follow it, you know. And she's always saying, you know, you guys are helping me a lot, thank you so much, and stuff like that. So I'm starting to get to know where my place is, basically. I know I'm still years away from being a grandma, but I think this is a good, you know, a good start of the thing, because it's just
Exercise, yeah.
yeah, because it's so hard to, you know, because you know the solution, but you don't want to tell the person like, hey, this is what I did and this will work for you, because every single child is different, you know, and what might have worked for me might not work for you. And so you know, it's hard to give feedback like that, because again, it worked with Leon, it might not work with my niece, you know. So
Yes. I heard something at the beginning of my journey that it was it sounded like this. It's like it's never gonna be a problem if it's not a problem for you. It's only a problem you know, if it affects you, or it's a problem for you. So that's I've taken that one, you know, like you know, that there's so many things that are gonna be a problem for me that won't be, you know, won't mean nothing for you as a mom, as a
yeah,
parent, as a
and I believe that's one of the stoicism quotes. It's one of the stoic quotes that the stoics used and use, um to kind of say like, if the problem, if there's a problem for you, maybe it's not for another person, so just keep it for yourself and you try to work on it, you know. I have to check on
exactly.
that one with my husband because he knows a little bit more about it, but I follow
But I really like it. I really
yes,
like it.
so I follow stoicism a lot because I think it's a good philosophy for you to follow. Basically what it means is basically what it's in your control, you know, worry about it, work on it, and try to overcome the problem. But if it's out of your control, don't even think about it, because it's worthless thinking about it, you
Exactly.
know, because
Yep.
it's out of your
Exactly.
control.
Gonna spend
So
a lot of energy on it.
exactly, that's why I don't follow politics, I don't follow any cults, anything. I'm just like, leave me alone, let me live my life, and we'll go from it. And
You
you
know, that
know,
has helped me a lot with my mom friends and or anyone around me, family or friends that are, you know, in a similar journey. Like it helps me a lot because it reminds me a lot that what makes sense for me doesn't make sense for everyone else, and vice versa. So sometimes I'm thinking, you know, like that's totally irrational. For me, it is, but not for them. So kind
exactly.
of just respect the other family. They have a reason why they act like this, or they do this, or they don't. And even if you know, it doesn't make sense in your work, it doesn't mean that it's bad or they are bad uh, people, parents, or person. It's just that, you know,
Or
it's
that they
just
are wrong and you're
it's
right.
totally
Never
different
assume.
situation. Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
never assume anything, because what it's, again, what is wrong for you might be right for the person, and vice versa, you know. And I mean, some things, again, some things in the family union, like some things work for you, but they might not work for me. So that's why when I tell my sister-in-law, like, hey, listen, this is what worked for me with Leon, if you want to do that for her, you can try, see if it works. If it doesn't, I mean, seek for, you know, professional opinion, because I'm not a doctor. So pediatricians are there for you, and nurses are also there for you. So if you have questions and you don't know what to do and it doesn't work, whatever I did to your nephew, then try something else, you know. And again, she's been taking it as a champ, and so far everything worked pretty good. um but again, always, always doubt everything and try other methods. um and that's what I'm gonna teach Leon as well. Like, you know listen to what I say for sure, but don't take it for granted, or don't take it as this is the right thing to do. Just go out and search for yourself. Go on the internet, read books, do your own research, and then ask questions. you know and
Yep. Yep.
never be scared of doing that, because that's how we learn how to live our lives, basically. you know
Yep. That's totally right. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
yeah.
And
And
that's a positive. I mean, I know that sometimes it's really hard to have navigating the parenthood or motherhood ocean. It's a pretty, weird thing to do at the beginning because there's so many opinions and there's so many. It's a bit overwhelming, but then you find joy in the fact that there are too many possibilities and there is no only one way to love. There is no only one way to raise your kids. So that's kind of nice, like for me, like, oh my God, I have all of these resources to kind of try to raise the best version of, kiddos that I'm
yeah,
able to.
exactly. And that's what I like, every challenge that I'm facing. But the motherhood, for sure, it's great because, first of all, you have books to help you. Then you have, your mom, and if you're lucky, you have your grandma as well. Um, and and then you have mother friends, and then strangers that you meet just at the park, for example, that became your friends too. Or like us, that we meet on an app, like a dating app, and then we we go to the beach that one of us doesn't like, and then, not that I don't like the beach, I don't like the sand. um and then you have birds around, and then we became friends. But that's the thing, like, it's the beauty of it, of like the journey of being a mom or a dad even. And just have new friends, and then have those people to give you opinions, to give you um, advice, to help you in certain ways. That the person will be there for you. Some people, obviously, but like, that if you have a question, that you're not going to be judged or anything like that. It's very important, the mother network and the father network, to kind of enter this new world. Because if you have no experience with kids previous of you being even pregnant, it's a very scary road. Wouldn't you
Yeah,
agree?
it is. It
Yeah.
is. No, and I was talking to someone one of these days, and I was just mentioning that it really does take a village to raise kids. I mean, and nowadays it's a little bit more individual, and I think that's not natural because you really need a little village of people that support you, that maybe they can listen to you, can discuss things,
Yeah,
it really does take a village.
it does. And with this pandemic right now, it kind of throws us back, because we need to be away from everybody, basically. And it's a challenge, because when you go to the park and you meet a friend that you haven't seen in a couple of days or something like that, then you be like, oh, let me vent a little bit in here. And then you just
Mm-hmm.
talk about your stuff, and maybe you complain about your husband, maybe you complain about yourself, maybe you complain about your kid, maybe you complain about the house. But that's part of it, because that's what friends are there to do. Now with COVID, it's hard, because I mean, you can do that, but it needs to be either on a podcast like we're doing right now, or like through a video message, or through video calls, or voice messages. And it's not the same.
No,
It's
it's
just,
not.
we kind of lose
No,
the contact. But
that is exactly what I meant. when I said like people don't really know what it takes to be pregnant because you just take it for granted. And
Mm,
it's exactly we used to take for granted just being able to go outside and see who, go whenever we wanted or just see people, you know, because it was because we were able to do it forever, So it's exactly that feeling like, oh my God, that was so good and I didn't know. That was so
exactly.
easy and I didn't know.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that this pandemic came to show us is that, don't take anything for granted, because one day you might have to just stay home and don't see anybody for months, and
Yeah.
another thing is that, but this is a good thing, which is, I think it's a good thing, which is it came to show us that we don't have to be at work at all times like we used to, especially people that work with computers. You can do it abroad. You can even go, we could even move to Portugal today, and my husband could still work at his job, and I could still do some dog training as well, although in Portugal it's not as much demanding as it is here, but I could
Yeah.
still do
Hmm.
some stuff like that. But again, like, this pandemic came to show us that, we have to take things slow and we have to live the present moment right now, because one day, in the blink of an eye, that's it,
It's
you
gonna be
know?
taken away. It's gonna be
Yep.
taken away. Maybe for a short period, maybe not.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
if you think about it, Lily, that's life.
Yeah, exactly. Life is like that, but I think people don't realize, or they don't think about it too often. So
Oh,
I think
because
that,
our attention is somewhere else. Our
yes,
our attention is in so many things that we just forget that that's life, that it can be taken away from you. Maybe
exactly.
not your entire life, but maybe life as you were used to live, you know?
Yeah, and nowadays, especially with internet and with our phones and stuff, we tend to be so much into social media and forget about looking around, and you know go to the mountains and appreciate the nature, um or just go to a pool or a beach and just appreciate what you see. Like, nowadays people don't do that no more.
Yeah.
I was
Yep.
just a couple weeks ago, we took a small vacation, and we just went to a house in Anaheim. We rented the Airbnb house, huge house, with a couple of friends. And you know what I did? I turned off my phone completely. My phone
Good.
was turned off for the whole week. And when I got to it, the load of messages from people and clients as well, it was so much. I felt really overwhelmed. I had to put the phone down because I was like, I cannot take it. It's too much. And people don't do that nowadays. Well, when was the last time that you turn off your phone for a day, even?
No, only when I lose them.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like nobody does that no more. And it's so important because it's good for your mental health. It's good for you to appreciate things around you, and that vacation, even though we didn't go anywhere, we stayed in the house the whole time, was the best vacation ever, because I could talk to my friends without looking at my phone. I could talk to my child and appreciate my child and be with my child the whole time. I didn't have to be like, okay, let me just text here, you know. I was there. I was
Yep.
totally there. My mind, my body, everything was there. So I think sometimes it's good for us to like take a step back and be like, okay, you know what? Today I'm going to turn off my phone,
Acknowledging.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Unless you need it for business, like me, for example. But I told my clients, like, I'm going to turn off my phone for a week. Don't worry about me, I'll be okay.
Yeah. 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 I'll be okay. Hmm.
But yeah, anyways, I want to go back to the topic. So now, how old are your kids now?
They are 3 years and a half
Three
right
and a half.
now.
Okay.
They're so fun. It's it's my favorite age. Um you kind of start understanding what they really think because they're now able to talk to you and describe what they're feeling or just come out with crazy ideas. It's super cool. I like this stage a lot.
I think sorry that I'm laughing, but it's so funny because you can now, like, my son is almost 2.5 years old, but he you can see like his personality so much now because he can talk and express himself so good. And I can only imagine when, like, a year from now, how this will become even better, because now they
It's
can say
fascinating. Yeah.
like they can say, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling happy, like that stuff. And then they start making their own phrases, right? And you're just like,
Yeah.
how the heck did you just come up with that? Like my son, for example, he now does a thing, like, it's so funny. He comes to me and he's like, oh mama, that's so cool, mama. And I was like, what? Where did you learn that? I don't say that.
Did
My
you
husband,
get that? Yeah.
it's from daycare, because all the other kids are like, oh, that's so
Oh
cool.
yeah.
So he gets it from there. And
Yeah.
there's other things that he says now, and I'm just like, what? It's really, really fun
They
to
are like
see.
sponges. Yeah.
For sure.
It's adorable. It's my it's been my favorite part. Even though like, it's getting challenges as well. It's been my favorite part. Like this between yeah. Once I start learning how to communicate themselves, it's really fun.
Yeah, because they understand you better, and they can communicate with you as well. So that's really
Yeah.
fascinating. And they so before the pandemic, I know you weren't working, but you are right now. Do you want to share a bit of that part?
Yeah. I am back. I'm back to work with the same company that I was working with. I had a pause for because I need my visa papers expired, so I had to renew the work permit and blah blah blah. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And it took me about 4 to 6 months to get back on track, but I went back to the office in June, so I've been working from home as well. It's been already 3 months, and we're both working from home, my husband and I. He's an engineer, so he's been able to work at home, and it's been quite quite a challenge for some part, but we have had two really nice nannies um, that they come to help us half a day, and then the rest of the day we kind of handle together. And I believe that both of our jobs are pretty flexible, meaning that I can wake up at 6 in the morning and work all the way till when the nanny leaves, which is around noon, and I'm pretty much done for the most part. So in the afternoon, I only like check emails if I need, I really need to do something. But you know, that flexibility, and if I have to do something else, I just log in the app once they're sleeping.
Yeah.
But that flexibility means a lot for both of us. Like whenever we have to work, we do it, but we can pause for so many hours and just be with them and then re-engage if we need to. That's been totally awesome. I have to go back to the office though, November 2nd, I believe, and that's going to be another change for them. And we will need to adjust. Again, I was looking for daycares, as I told you before, I even visited one that Leo goes, and then we kind of decided to wait until January because we want to engage them because we're probably gonna go to Costa Rica in December. We're not sure yet, so we want to wait until January and not, go in and then take them out and then go back again. But yeah.
Yeah, it's important to, once you start, to kind of give them at least 6 months of continuous daycare and or school, because it takes them a while to get ready for it. Like, for example, Leon was going, I don't know when we started. I think we started, I can't remember. But anyways, we started before the pandemic happened. And then we kept him home in March. And then he went back in July. And just now, he's starting to not cry at drop off. But he's also going every day of the week in the morning now. But he only goes mornings. And just this week, he started to not cry at drop off. So it takes them a while to adjust to the routine and stuff like that. And not that he doesn't like it there, it's just that he obviously rather be with us more. So it's hard for them. Yeah. So how did that? So because you were not working before COVID, how did the pandemic affected your life? Because they're home and you got nannies, but did anything changed rather than going out more?
No, actually it's gonna sound a little sad, but no.
Hey, fair enough.
Yeah, we usually don't go anywhere inside. Like, we're not big fans of malls, or we usually spend our times outside, either in a park or at the beach or hiking, or so we don't miss those indoor spaces anyways. I was not working. I didn't have a nanny by then because I was not working. So I was not working. My mom was already back in Costa Rica, so I was with them. And well, it was scary for sure, as for everyone else. And like the first, I would say 6 to 8 weeks, it was really weird. Just of the supermarket, the food supply, the supermarket thing, with the excessive amount of news you were watching, just because that was so weird and kind of scary. But then you kind
because
of adapt.
everything was so new that you would have to watch news to get to know what the heck was going on, and
what the hell was going on, and what you could do and could not.
Exactly. And then it turns out that if you wear a mask, pretty much you're safe, pretty much. And you have to wash your hands and use sanitizing, but that's it. But I mean,
but remember that wasn't the case the first couple of weeks. They were not even encouraging of using a mask. And, like they said that it really didn't protect you. They said that for at least 4 weeks or so.
I know they've said a lot of things, and that's why I never believed any of it. I just, we stood home and we never went to the grocery store. I think my first time at a grocery store was in July, when Leon went back to daycare. And people are gonna ask, but why did you put him back at daycare if you weren't sure about what's going on with the virus? First of all, because I know the lady, I trust her, and I know she's been opened. Basically, she never closed. So because the Child Protective Services went there and the licensing went there to check on her, and they said you have the green light to be open, I was totally fine with it. And there was one time that actually Leon started getting sick, and then I got it, and we got a cold, and one of the moms passed it to a kid, and then the kid passed it to Leon, and he passed it to me. And both of us, both of the moms, we kept the kids home for 1 week, and we both took the test just to make sure we were not having the COVID. So again, I trust, although I don't know the parents, but I trust to a certain point. And the daycare is very, very small. It's an in-home daycare, so it's very, very small, and it's easy to keep track of everybody basically. So that's why I'm like, I trusted, and I put him there again. And also because he was acting so weird, he was being so clingy. It was too much for us to handle, even though me and my husband were home. But I think having daddy home was a bit worse for him, because he wanted to be with dad and he couldn't because dad is working. And I couldn't do too much of my dog training because he was home. So I decided to put him there. And yeah, so, but I remember in the beginning, the first time I went to a grocery store, I cried. I cried.
Yeah, it's a weird mix of feelings, you know. It really is, because it gets scary outside, you know. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it's very scary, especially seeing everybody in the streets with a mask. And
It's weird.
I'm like, what the
Remember,
hell is going on?
we were at Disneyland a couple of weeks before it all crashed out. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We were at Disneyland and we kind of even discussed about it, like, what do you think? And I was like, I don't know. And you were, I don't know. It all happened pretty fast.
We had no clue. And yes, it happened real fast. And we had to be in lockdown from one day to the other,
Hmm.
so it was real.
Basically, we were gonna have a baby shower, right, for Anika, and then yeah,
Yeah,
no.
a friend of ours was pregnant, and I was planning to have the baby shower here. And then we were like, maybe it's not a good idea after all. And I still have the things that one of our friends bought for her, for the decoration stuff.
Yeah.
They're under my bed. So I'm like, well, if she wants it, she can have it, but I don't think she does. So um oh my god, I've met the baby, by the way, and she's so cute. She's really, really cute.
Oh, that's
um
so nice.
yeah. And yeah, it happened so fast, and then everybody was like, some of them were like, I'm okay with it, let's just
Yeah,
do it. But
yeah, yeah.
the amount of people that said that, and the amount of people that said no, the no way won. So it was like, maybe not, maybe just once she gets pregnant again, then we'll do it.
Do it. Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't think she wants to get pregnant again, just so you know. But it was kind of weird.
Yeah. You may think that I'm crazy, but after all, honestly, I am really proud of humanity because we're like, after 6 to 8 weeks, we're like, oh, what the heck? We'll adapt. Okay. We'll adapt and we continue, this. We're going to keep on going. We put our mask on, we wash our hands as many times as we can. And then, yeah, so let's move. Let's move if we can because we have to keep on moving. That's it.
Yeah, we can't stop, and that's what I always tell people. Like, if we take the precautions that we have to, you know, you can't stop living your life just because this happened. Because the chance of you getting in your car right now, go in the street, and get killed by a car accident, in a car accident or something like that, it's higher probably than getting COVID. So,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of have to balance our chances here, and just think positively and be like, nah, I think we should just take the precautions, obviously, but keep moving, keep going, because life cannot stop. And
And it won't stop. And people, many things have happened between these months. Like between March and now. People have moved from country to country. People have engaged. People have died. People have, it's been, life goes on. That's what it is. And
Yeah.
that's always going to be.
Right. And I feel, obviously we feel bad that for those people that died, and for the families that are still alive, and grieving the ones that died. But I mean, such is life, right? People die every day, and we don't hear the news saying that.
No, it's the only thing is that this is the first time that I am aware that we struggle as a humanity. And that was something that really, it's something that I will never forget, because this is the first time that we have all been in a situation and we were all scared and we will all feel like fragile. So that
Yeah.
was, I would say that was nice to see, because the nice is not a word, but I'm glad I saw it, for
Yeah,
somehow.
because we're all on the same page, and we need to work together to fight something that we kind of have control but kind of don't, and
And
that's
probably most of all, it kind of remind us that what to be aware of the rest, like to be aware of the one next to me, even if I don't know them, because that what you do will affect me and what I do will affect you. And we were kind of forgetting about that.
yeah,
You know?
exactly. No, I totally agree with you, because I think nowadays people think more about others, and they take the hurt from other people they don't even know, rather than thinking about themselves and their neighbor. You know what
Yep,
I mean? And even nowadays people tend to forget that, because again, social media, and I'm not turning down social media, it's a great thing, but you shouldn't be used by it. You should use it wisely and not get used by it. So
yep,
a lot of people forget about it, and they just feed the trolls and feed the social media with negativity, with aggressivity. Like it's just too much. It's just too much. We need to appreciate what we have. We need to appreciate what the world and all the other people are working on to give it to us. And if you don't like it, don't listen to it. Don't buy it. Don't, you know,
yep,
don't yeah, just don't do it. So I think now, yeah, now people should think about it even more on about them, and do do your own research, and get better with yourself, and think about your neighbors, the ones that are close to you, your friends, your family, because that
yep.
people, that's what matters the most, you know.
That's right. Yep, yep, totally right.
Yeah. So okay, well, I think we're both are getting a bit uh sleepy here. It's pretty late. Sorry, people that are sorry, guys, that you're listening to us. But mom's life, it's always a bit of a challenge. And it's quite late in here. But I do have a question for you that I always ask all my guests. It's the three. I'm sure you've heard it about it. It's the three life lesson. So, what are the three life lessons that you want to pass on to your kiddos?
Oh my God. I need a cup of wine for that one.
I know it's a pretty
Um,
hard one, but your kids are really, really cute, by the way. I miss them a lot. They're so funny.
yeah, we miss Lili.
Oh, they're
Thank you
really,
for
really
that. Let me
funny.
see. Three things that I would like them to know. The first thing that I would like to pass them is it really doesn't matter how much you have in life. Life it's about possibilities. Create your own possibilities and always open your eyes really, really wide to kind of take them. Because that what makes life nice, like that would really give life a boost. Having
Yeah.
possibilities. That'll be the number one. The number two, you said it before. Question yourself and question the ones around you if that doesn't resonate with you. Don't don't let anyone indoctrinate you. How do you say that in English?
Yeah, indoctrinate you. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
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 I totally agree with that.
yeah, yeah. Think for yourself, even even if it's if that comes from someone you respect and love a lot, because we all make mistakes, you know.
Yeah, we're all
So
humans. Yeah.
yeah. And the third one is, dude, you're loved and deeply and eternally loved. That's it.
Oh, I really like those three. No, I do. I
I'm gonna.
totally agree with you because we have to love ourselves. We have to, you know, grab the opportunities, all the opportunities that you have in life to enrich yourself and to, be better and question everything. Even if I'm the one telling you, you
Yeah.
know, like just question it and research for yourself and make your own truth. And yeah, that's really three good life lessons for sure. um all right, well, this was good. I really enjoyed our conversation, Liana. This is really really nice. Thank you for being here, and maybe you'll come back. What do you say?
Oh yeah. Anytime. It was really fun.
Yeah,
Next
nice.
time, I promise I'll have my wine with me because today I couldn't make it.
Good.
It was really nice to chat with you. I really miss it.
Oh yeah, me too. Maybe we'll do this a little bit earlier so we're not here like almost sleeping on the microphones.
That's right. That's right. But we did it. That's the important thing.
Yay. Oh my god. Yeah, no, this was really, really nice. Thank you so much for being here again. And I'll see you soon.
Talk later.
All right.
Say good night to Leon and to
Will
your
do.
husband.
All right, you
Bye.
too. Bye.